Hope everybody had an amazing 4th of July weekend. This will be the crypto, Bitcoin, altcoins update. And to be completely honest, there's not a whole lot going on, right? This is the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin. We've been kind of consolidating since May. And then if you go to the daily and you go look at altcoins, this is what we've been given the past couple weeks here. So as far as missing out on anything crazy, I know I haven't been taking a lot of trades, but market volume has kind of been suffering over the past couple weeks. But I love to catch those bigger moves. You guys know me. I'm always looking for that big move on Bitcoin, big move on an altcoin. And those higher time frame key levels honestly just aren't being hit as frequently as we'd like. So I'm going to switch things up here a little bit. I'm not going to cover the super high time frame level down here, way level up here, right? I'm going to give you more of an intra-week bias because we're most likely going to have to lean towards taking more, not necessarily scalp trades, but sort of day trades where we're not expecting giant moves until the market shows us otherwise. So that being said, let's go over all of these levels. First here, we've got previous month high. Self-explanatory, it's the high of the previous month. And then, funny enough, this high is really equal to it. So if obviously we'll have this all-time high marked, but if the market's not ready to quite make a new all-time high, these two highs right here are a good option to reject from. We have previous all-time high, again, self-explanatory. Previous all-time high that we've rejected from several times. It's an important level to have on the chart. We've got weekly open here, which you can see lower time frame, got a really nice rejection from. So there's trades to be had like this, which typically isn't my signal format. I like to give you guys bigger moves, let people have time to get into the trade. But we'll likely, if we can get some more trades, we'll be taking more scalps like that. But you guys can 100% do it on your own. There's a lot of people I know doing it on their own that I've taught, marking the exact same levels as me. So it's not hard to learn. It's harder to signal. But moving on, we got monthly open, which I do really, really like this monthly open. We kind of just open the month, got a little back test right there, move down, move straight through it, and we have yet to back test to continue higher. We kind of front run it a couple times, hopefully building liquidity for a quick move into it and a bounce. Here's a scenario that I'm looking at that I'll cover in more detail here in a minute. Other than that, we have this volume profile and higher time frame, and then we have a little bit of liquidity below this low and below this low that I'm keeping an eye on. We have a weekly level lower, and then obviously we have this range volume profile to keep an eye on. This week, obviously we can't expect anything too crazy. But if we start to get a move anywhere into this region, I'll give you a more detailed update. But I'm hoping, a little deviation of this triangle either way, and then some sort of trade, some sort of short upside here potentially, or some sort of long, whether that's from monthly open or we get some, I'm sure some of you have pulled like a deviation fib right here if we go a little bit lower for the long trade. So multiple things to look at. Currently the price is in a tight consolidation triangle with multiple touches at the high, multiple touches at the low. So, and for me to take a trade, I'm kind of just waiting for a break of this little triangle. And you guys know how I like to trade triangles. I like to trade the fake out. So we'll break down and then get a bigger reversal, or we'll break out and get a bigger reversal. So whatever side we break to first, I'm looking for that. But yeah, that's all there is really to update on Bitcoin. As far as like a precise signal, there's nothing I can really give you. This monthly open is probably the best option here. Take that up to like previous month high. I think this monthly open is a really, really good scalp level you should all have on your chart. Even if I don't signal it, I would hope if it's a good reaction, good move into it, that you'd be taking a trade there. Maybe wait for like, mark this low too. Your trade idea would be move into it, reclaim that low, take the trade, and then, use a reasonable stop loss. So, like I said, there's trades to be had down here. I'm not going to go into crazy depth. Pull golden pockets, look at naked point of controls, all that kind of thing. But until we dip below this blue line, I'm not looking for any longs unless it's in this little region here. So that's all I can really say on Bitcoin here. Let's go over to ETH, which looks a little bit more interesting. Same things. I'm not going to go over these levels exactly. I've had this level 29.18 marked for a while. It's just liquidity. We have this level, which is just an old range high right here. We have this blue line right here. This is just before. This is honestly just like a liquidity level. So coming into this region right here, it would be my area of interest to the upside. And then obviously we've got a weekly open, monthly open, a daily level, a weekly level down lower, and then just a little bit of context looking at where we bounced from, which was my all-in level that gave 25% rate. By the way, it's just an old low that was respected multiple times. We even back tested it, moved above it, and then back tested it again, and now we're seeing a nice move to the upside. So overall, looking at ETH, it looks slightly bullish just based on the context of what's going on. We're sweeping mini range lows, getting bought back up, retesting key levels, bouncing from them. But same scenario on ETH as Bitcoin. If we can get a move up here, deviation of this mini range, something like this, I'd be looking for a short trade, take back down to the opposite side of the range. We know that ranges fake out most of the time, so it's a good scenario to be looking for. And to the downside as well, a fake out below this range low, something like this, and then come back above. I would prefer the move lower first because I'm leaning bullish on it. Lower and then go higher would give us the best opportunity for a trade. But if that doesn't happen, obviously we look higher first, where we've got bat harmonic that can go, technically it's the 886, which would be up here, but just anywhere from this high in the 786 region all the way up to like 2739 is a good area to start looking for shorts. Again, deviating this mini range high, fake triangle breakout into liquidity, into key resistance, into volume, all those kinds of things is a great trade to look for. So you got two scenarios that I just went over. Fake out below here for a long trade, fake out above here for a potential short trade. Keep an eye on both of those. If this moves lower, we do have some good levels in this region. But again, until this long area is invalidated, I'm not going to be looking at that. But just know there is some good trades to be had in this area, most likely. We have like a range low that hasn't been back tested right here for a long trade. We did already kind of take that liquidity, so it's not as good, but it's still definitely something to watch. But yeah, let's move on to XRP. Just a little update. This trade is almost hit our entire full take profit. Got an re-entry off the anchored VWAP that was taken from the low. Really nice to see we bounced off of key levels, bounced off a weekly. You can see how important this yearly open was. Bounced off of it multiple times, flipped it, bullish move above it, and just as I drew here, little retest and move up is exactly what we wanted to see. So nice to see our key levels are being perfectly respected as usual, I guess. And if this moves up, we've got the weekly and liquidity up here to be looking for a potential short trade. This isn't a more confirmed idea like Bitcoin and ETH were, but it's still something to watch. Moving on to Sui here. Again, guys, I'm sticking with the more lower time frame stuff. And for me, that's really only this area right here. So when price is choppy, you're going to have less good zones. So monthly open with this anchored VWAP with the little range deviation, this area on Sui is really all I'm looking for here. So pretty self-explanatory. When you have a monthly open and you deviate that away from that level and then you retest it, really often, those are the low for the month. So always be looking for those trades. Shiba, similar idea, but we do have an upside area here for potential shorts above this high liquidity. We've got an anchored VWAP coming down that's really respected multiple times there, respected there. Range deviation taken from this low up to the high, giving us a really nice zone to the upside. But I really like the zone lower too, where we've got a high time frame key level, same thing, range deviation, and then we've got a weekly level. That high time frame key level just comes from this big range low. You can see signs of accumulation, sweeping these lows multiple times. Even swept this low again right here. So as far as high time frame bottom, guys, I'm not even gonna lie. Technical, and I know Bitcoin is trading at all-time highs. So it seems kind of stupid to say, but technical analysis wise, Shiba Inu looks like you can't draw it up any better for a high time frame low. So if it does happen, great. If we can get a trade there, obviously I'm looking, that's a decent swing zone if we get something like this. Sorry. Just something like this. Take it at least up to that other range high, and then if we leave a runner, if we do end up getting that high time frame low, you're looking at upside targets of that high, potentially that high. Obviously leave some runners. Solana, guys, there's literally nothing to trade here on Solana. Right when we're compact in a range, of course you can be looking for the range deviation and just key highs and lows. Like this would be your deviation here. And you can look for like a fake out of this range, a fake breakout of the range. Those are things I like to look at when price is consolidating. But for Sol, it just doesn't really add up with anything. And that's honestly the common thing I'm seeing across a lot of altcoins. If there's a signaler that's signaling like crazy right now, like it's just time for gambling. It's not really, there's not a whole lot of technical analysis involved in here across multiple altcoins. We had like a week where it moved good, but other than that, it's just been the really choppy period across, I want to say like 90% of altcoins. But yeah, that is the crypto market update. I hope this all makes sense to you guys. Again, wait for a more clear direction. We want to see a volatile break of this triangle for potential short up here, a long lower is the ideal scenario. But expect a weekly crypto market update every Monday. I know it's Tuesday today, but every Monday I'll be sending the crypto market update, and then I'll work a NQ and ES update in gold in there. Those are probably more interesting than crypto with the consolidation right now. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Peace out.